What if a place was abandoned not because it was old, but because something sinister still lingered there? What if every warning, every whispered tale was not a superstition, but a desperate attempt to protect those who didn't know the truth? And what if, despite all of this, someone chose to step inside, only to realize too late that they were not alone? Welcome to the Haunting Hour. This is the place where real horror experiences come to life. From chilling paranormal encounters to mysterious and unexplained events, we bring you true stories that will leave you questioning reality. Tonight's story is about 3 students who ignored a strict warning and found themselves face to face with something beyond human comprehension. This real horror experience was shared by a student whose name has been changed for privacy reasons. The exact location of the hostel cannot be disclosed as per the sender's request. If you have a real horror experience, you can share it with us. The email address is in the description. Now, let's begin. Amit had recently shifted into a well-maintained, multi-story hostel for his postgraduate studies. The building was old, but its structure was strong, and its history stretched back decades. The students occupying the hostel often spoke of its eerie silence at night, especially in the corridors of the upper floors. Amit shared his room with 2 close friends, Rohan and Sameer. The 3 had been together since their undergraduate years and were known for their adventurous spirit. Their new hostel felt ordinary, except for one thing. The 4th floor, an entire wing of rooms, had been abandoned for years. From the first day, Amit had noticed that the corridor leading to that section remained in complete darkness. The door to the abandoned wing was always locked, and students never spoke about it. It was as if that part of the building had ceased to exist. One evening, while discussing their daily college routine, their curiosity drifted toward the abandoned wing. It was observed that no one ever went near it, and even the hostel staff avoided mentioning it. A senior passing by overheard their conversation and immediately warned them against going there. It was said that many years ago, a student had died in that wing under mysterious circumstances. Some claimed it was an accident, while others whispered darker theories. Since then, the floor had been sealed off. Students who had previously dared to step inside had either fallen ill or left the hostel soon after. Despite the clear warning, Amit and Rohan felt drawn to the mystery. Only Sameer hesitated. The fear in the senior's voice had unsettled him. That night, an idea formed in Amit's mind. What if they went inside just once? At exactly 3 a.m., Amit and Rohan made their way to the 4th floor, their footsteps echoing in the empty corridors. Sameer refused to join them, but agreed to stay near the staircase as a lookout. The abandoned wing was eerily silent. The locked door was found slightly ajar, as if inviting them inside. With a deep breath, they stepped in. The air was thick with dust, and a damp, suffocating smell filled the space. Old wooden doors lined the hallway, their surfaces covered in deep scratches. As they moved further inside, the temperature dropped noticeably. A strange feeling settled over them, an overwhelming sense of being watched. A faint shuffling sound was heard from one of the rooms. It was assumed that a rat or some animal might have made its way inside, but something felt off. The sound was too deliberate, too human. A Approaching the source, Amit shined his flashlight through the broken glass of a room's window. Inside, something was seen. A shadow, unmoving, standing in the farthest corner. It had no distinct features, just a tall, dark figure that didn't seem to belong there. Amit turned to whisper to Rohan, but before a word could be spoken, the door of the room creaked open on its own. The flashlight flickered as both Amit and Rohan stepped back instinctively. A cold breeze swept through the hallway, carrying with it the sound of faint whispers. The words were indecipherable, but the tone was unmistakable. Angry. Suddenly, a loud knock was heard behind them. Turning around, the sight was horrifying. Another door, at the end of the corridor, had begun to rattle violently, as if something trapped inside was desperate to get out. In the dim light, the shadow from the room moved. It did not walk, nor did it glide. It simply shifted. One moment in the corner, the next right at the doorway. A deep, guttural whisper filled the air, and a realization struck them. This was no ordinary spirit. This thing had been waiting. Amit grabbed Rohan's wrist, and both ran without looking back. Samir, who had been waiting at the stairs, saw their panicked expressions and immediately followed as they sprinted to their room, locking the door behind them. Their breathing was heavy, their hearts pounding. Then, a slow, deliberate knock was heard on their door. Amit turned on his flashlight and shined it through the small opening near the floor. The light revealed a pair of feet standing outside, bare, motionless. But they were not human feet. The toes were elongated, twisted in unnatural angles. The knocking continued. The three students huddled in the corner of the room, too terrified to move. The knocking eventually stopped, but the feeling of being watched remained. Morning came slowly. As the first rays of sunlight streamed through their window, they gathered enough courage to open the door. The hallway was empty. There was no sign of anyone having stood there. Determined to confirm what they had experienced, they approached a group of seniors and explained everything. Their expressions turned grave. It was revealed that years ago, a student had been found dead in that very room, the one Amit and Rohan had looked into. His body had been discovered sitting against the wall, his eyes open, staring blankly ahead. The details of his death had never been disclosed, but ever since, strange occurrences had been reported by those who had dared to step inside. A final warning was given. Never go near that floor again. None of them ever did. This was the story of three students who ignored a warning and encountered something beyond explanation. The abandoned wing remains locked to this day, but those who stay in that hostel still claim to hear whispers at night, followed by slow, deliberate knocking on their doors. What do you think? If you knew a place was haunted, would you still explore it? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you have a real horror experience, you can send it to us. The email address is in the description. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to The Haunting Hour for more real horror experiences. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll meet again in the next story. Until then, keep listening to The Haunting Hour.